Hello guys, and welcome to another video where we're going to describe a little bit about encrypting and decrypting passwords using just Python, where we're going to generate a key, an encrypted key with a reference key, and then we have another script which basically is going to decrypt. It's going to take the generated encrypted password and reference key, and it's going to show it to us without creating it into a file. This is mostly for security reasons. And yeah, so let's go and get into this script. Forgot to show you the script. My bad. Going to go into my directory. Show it to you from there basically. So go to list. There's only two files. There's the decrypting file and the encrypting file. The first file is going to be basically the encrypting file. So I'm going to show it to you to maybe go into a little bit of detail into every step, so that you have the idea of what the script is doing. So yeah, so basically this I'll show it to you after I describe the script. It's a very easy script. Everyone should should understand it, at least even for beginners. So basically these two lines are just pulling specific Python 3 libraries, and then what it's going to do is we're going to create a password file. In this case we're going to name it Password.txt. You can name it you can name it pwd, for example, but you have to of course change it from here, because otherwise it's going to pull from this particular name that you're going to give it from here. And what it's going to do is it's going to read all the lines of the file. So in this case we're going to use just one password, just one line, but if you have multiple it's going to take the whole lot. Step 2 is basically going to generate a key using fernet.generated_key. So basically what it's going to do is going to take the key and going to create a reference key, and basically it's going to write it into what we're going to name the file here. This file is going to be reference key, and it's going to close the file once the process is done. Then the next step is going to be simple. It's going to encrypt. So basically this step 2 is going to create a reference key from the password that you're going to put in the password.txt file. Then the third one is going to encrypt the password and write it into another file. So basically throughout when this Python script is going to be executed, it's going to show you two different files, and basically I'm going to run this script and show you the whole process, so don't worry about that. So step 3 is going to encrypt the password through the reference key. So here it's going to grab the reference key which was generated into step 2 using the fernet.key, and it's going to convert the password into byte using this format utf-8, and it's going to write it into this txt file, to an encrypted password txt file, and it's going to do the same process in which it's going to do in step 2. It's going to write and close the file, of course. Now basically the step 4 is going to delete the password file, But if you don't want this this last step, basically you're going to remove this. So if you want to keep the password file for, I don't know, to save it into KeePass or anything anywhere, you have to remove this one. This last line you can remove. But I mean, for security reasons, usually for companies, the best thing would be to remove any evidence of passwords. So, you know, you just encrypt, do the whole process, and then you just remove it, you know. So now let's go into details. So the first thing is to install using this string sudo apt install python 3 pip. Basically it's going to install the whole Python 3 into your file directory, and then you have to run the whole script the way I'm going to do it. So in this case, we don't have the password.txt file already created. So we're going to, the first thing is going to create a file. So we're going to say nano password.txt file. And what's going to be here is we're going to create a password.txt file. So here is going to be creating a txt file. So we're going to say hi YD for YouTube. Just going to put a bunch of numbers just for the sake of it, you know, and some special characters as well to see the change. And that's it. Then we're just going to close the file. It's going to save. Do you want to save? Of course you want to save it. So basically what we've done here is we're going to save the password.txt file, and here we have an additional file here. So what we need to do now, since we have the password.txt file here, we're going to run the first script, which is the encrypt script that I have previously discussed now, using Python 3. Then we're going to insert the file name of the script, of the Python script, and then it's going to be executed. How are you going to know if it was executed correctly or not? First of all, there's no errors it's going to be detected. Second of all, if you write list, it's going to show you two additional files. One is the encrypted password, which I will show you here. It's going to show you the encrypted file, this one, and it's going to show you the reference key, this one. So these two are very, very useful to be able to decrypt the file, to be able to decrypt the password, sorry. So it's very, very important to keep these two files next to each other and in a safe place where no one will be able to have any access to these files. These are very useful, especially in companies, for example, when you don't want to give access to a specific person for security reasons. So you keep these files, and then once you want to, I don't know, have access to a machine, for example, you can decrypt these passwords for a specific period of time. Yeah, and then you can keep on using these two files for every single time. So let's go into detail about decrypt. Python script basically is going to show you how it's going to be done. So basically the script is quite easy. I think it's much easier than the encrypt script. So what's going to do is going to take the encrypted password .txt file, and it's going to read all the strings from it. And what's going to do is basically going to convert it into bytes, where it's going to be later then be processed by the Python script. And the second step, the same thing for the reference key. So basically step 1 and step 2 are the same thing, are the same process, but for different txt files. And then what's going to do, basically it's going to take the reference key, of course the byte part, and it's going to decrypt with the encrypted password bytes, and it's going to show you, it's not going to create a file. That's the most important thing. It's going to show you in the terminal the password. So I'll show you how it's done. So it's going to do is it's going to show you first password that you have inserted into the password.txt file. So I think this is where I'm going to end the video. I hope that you understood this small educational video. Ciao ciao.